Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. You guys, and welcome back to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the crowd goes wild. You guys know that I am full with theatrics when I feel good and when I have a lot of energy. And when I have both, it's just a recipe for disaster. But no, you guys, welcome back to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Another episode, another week, and we are trucking through the year. Like, I cannot believe we are almost halfway through the year. January took a little minute to get up out of here. February said, girl, I got somewhere to be. I don't want to be here. And then March and April said, okay, it's time. Like, I'm here for a little bit and now I'm gone. And now, like, come on now, May and June. What does May and June have in store for us? What does May and June have in store for us? As I am currently recording, I know the last time I recorded, like batch created, I think I was like 33, 36 weeks pregnant. I had to be like 33 weeks pregnant because it's been a little minute since I've recorded. And I said, you know what? I need to get my butt up. I need to go record. I need to press record. I need to podcast. And I am in such a good mood. I wanted to podcast yesterday, but I was like, you know what? We still got the weekend. I got ahead of my like house chores. So I was like, just do it tomorrow. Just do it tomorrow. Just do it tomorrow. There's no rushing because I have recorded so far ahead. I think there's like 7 episodes already recorded, edited, and posted to schedule and post on a certain day at a particular time. So I am doing my darn thing with the consistency. And if you are new here, my OGs and my returning listeners know that this year I am focusing on consistency along with a lot of other things. And one of the things that, kind of play into this consistency role is doing things ahead of time and not just, okay, well, now this is one of the days that I said I was going to record and post and everything. So I have to do it like right now so I can meet this deadline. No, you can set in place some plans that you can do far in advance to help set you up for a more consistent, lifestyle. So I am somebody that I am all about creating plans, creating routines. And one of the things that recording in advance has helped me with a lot is being able to take the time that I need away from the podcast and not having to record every single week, because I think at one point I was recording 1 episode every week and it was for the following week. So now I am recording however much I can record when I have the energy to, and then it takes care of almost a month for me. And that is great because I'm currently 38 weeks pregnant in 5 days. Yeah, 38 weeks pregnant in 5 days. Oh my goodness. And I could be having this baby anytime now because my last appointment this past Monday, she said I was like 1 centimeter dilated. So as soon as baby girl is further down in my pelvis, I don't know how quick and soon it'll be until she's here. So I'm trying to record as far out in advance as I can. That way, when I know I'm not recording anything whatsoever, as soon as she gets here, you guys can still get content out of me that is still like relevant and what I'm still thinking about before birth. And then when I do give birth, I don't know how soon I'll come back to the podcast, but then it'll be like, okay, what my birthing experience was like and all of the things that I would and wouldn't do again if I, give birth to more children. So, all of the things like that. So I know by the time these episodes come out, especially in May and June, y'all, I will have already had that baby because I'm currently still in April. So yeah. I'm super excited and super nervous and scared and all of it. But anyway, how are you all doing? Like I said, welcome or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for dedicating some time to either sit there and watch me if you're watching and listening to this on YouTube, or if you are a new listener and you're on one of the audio platforms, like, hello girl, hey, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but hey y'all, thank you so much for, clicking on this episode, clicking on this platform and giving this platform a chance, because I am a one woman show, one woman, everything in the background. And I have a lot of social media accounts that I run for myself. And so being the only person recording, editing, posting, and scheduling and doing all of that on all of my accounts can be difficult, but your girl is trying to work through it. And yeah, so thank you so much for stopping by and giving this, podcast, this platform, a chance to, just figure out what I talk about on the show. OGs, returning listeners, thank you so much for coming back and sticking through it thick and thin with your girl. You already know how we get down. But yeah, so yeah, how are you guys doing? How is this month treating you? How is this week treating you? Um, we are almost to the end of the second quarter. What is one thing that you could do to change your trajectory, whether it's in life, whether it's your attitude, whether it's, whatever is going on right now? If you feel like there's a lot on your table, what is one thing that is within your control? Okay. Within your control that you can change to help you be on a better path, feeling better, looking better, doing better, being more healthy, being more active, being more motivated, being more disciplined, all of the things. What is one thing that you can do? That is something that I am adamant about, because we cannot control everything. So just putting into perspective that, okay, yes, I can acknowledge that there are things that are outside of my control in these certain areas. So I'm going to trust the people that, work best in these areas to do what they need to do. And I'm going to focus on what I need to do, because maybe there's something that I'm overlooking that I could be doing that could help me. Right. So all of the things like that. Okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into this episode, because I've been feeling down. I've been feeling, all the hormones with pregnancy, and I kind of just felt real stagnant. And so I just want to touch base with all of you guys, being that I am on a quarterly plan journey for my 2026 goals. There have been some weeks, like several weeks, maybe for the past month, that I haven't been actively doing something to work towards the goals that I set for myself this quarter. We did really good in quarter one, January through March. And I was just so surprised by how many things I was able to incorporate in my day-to-day routine, and how many things I was able to say that I accomplished at the end of that quarter, to be like, oh my goodness, like these are now things that I'm going to continue to do. Because if you know me and you've listened to a few of my other episodes, you guys know that when we set forth goals and plans for our life, the things that you have to change in your life of what you are doing today are things that you should carry on, unless you're, I'm so sorry. I feel like I have something in my eye. Unless your vision, or unless your, life goals or vision board or whatever, your vision for your life has changed, the things that you are changing, the routines that you are implementing to make sure you obtain the goal that you want to reach, should be a continuous thing. It's not something like, oh, let me put this routine in place so I can achieve this goal. And then after I achieve this goal, let me stop doing all of the things that I put in place so that I could achieve this goal. No, it should be something continuous. I am about to start my fan, so sorry if you hear that in the background. Um, I really want a better mic, which maybe I'll get one here before these episodes air. That way I can come back to you guys when I do come back from, my maternity leave from the podcast. So yeah, let me grab something else also. I'll be right back, you guys. Okay, so I'm back. Thank you guys for, holding on for what, like a split second for you all. But anyway, yeah, so I just don't think that your goal should be like the finishing point. I feel like it's just a journey for you, and all of the things that you are implementing into your life, whether it be a routine, whether it be, something that you do for 1 week to help you reach something else that you're wanting to accomplish. I think that it should be, a part of your bigger, it should be a part of the bigger picture. Just accomplishing things to mark it off, check it off, and then go back to what you were doing prior to changing some of the things that you needed to change to reach that goal. I just feel like it's not something that you truly wanted if you go back to the lifestyle that you were living before that goal was achieved, right? So, what I mean? If your life doesn't match the goal that you want, there is something that, the goal that you want, you're not going to be able to obtain it because your life doesn't match the goal that you are trying to achieve. Your lifestyle isn't matching the goal that you are trying to achieve. So once you achieve that goal, I feel like you should continue the lifestyle that you have now implemented to achieve that goal and keep going forward and see where that takes you. But yeah, so one, I don't know. I'm gonna veer off to like a little side story or a little side subsection. I don't know, whatever. But I'm honestly thinking about keeping this as like my podcast setup. Those of you that know that my baby girl, is on the way. I'm not really putting a lot of time, energy, effort into getting my podcast, whatever, set up because I wanted two chairs back there, a little small table, this plant, got the mirror over there, all of the things. But I'm starting to think I like this setup. So I'm probably just going to do, some LEDs back there, to kind of like liven up, my background. Until I get like a studio or something like that. Like if I get as big as needing a studio, I think that's where most of my energy should go, not so much in here. I still do want a chair or two in here. So that way, if I am in here, my little girl cave, I can like sit down and I have to be in my work chair or on this stool to watch TV, breaking my neck to watch the TV. Like I could be back there with my little feet up or something like that. So yeah, as you can see, like there's a little design on the floor. Sorry, like I said, this was a side road. There's a little design on the floor because I got my rug up here that I used to have in my living room. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to throw this away. I'm just going to put it in my content creation room / my office / my podcast, all of the things. So yeah, I'm thinking that the only thing that I need back there, like I said, maybe a chair or two, maybe like a tiny little ottoman, or I can just move this stool over there to put my feet up when I am sitting in the chair. And maybe like a tiny little table. So that way, if I do have food or drinks up here, I can set it down somewhere. And then the plant, gives it some greenery. I can look at myself in the mirror. If I want to look at, full body, whatever. So, this is coming together. It's looking real cute. I'm going to keep it this way. So this is going to be the podcast setup, indefinitely until I get a studio. But there will be things that happen in the background. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so like I said, back to the regular mainstream of things. So like I said, I just felt like I was stagnant for I think the past month or so, definitely for the past couple weeks, where I wasn't really doing anything to push myself forward. And that's what these weekly non-negotiables are supposed to be. That's what, making sure I'm doing something every week, every day in my routine, whether it's implementing something new, whether it's tweaking some things, to make sure I'm reaching my goals that I set for myself for Q2. So I say all of that to say that I needed to sit myself down with myself and reevaluate what I said I wanted to achieve, because when I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I don't even remember what I said I wanted to achieve. And yes, give yourself some grace. Consistency doesn't look like, showing up 100% every single day. Obviously, you're going to be 60% one day, 25% another day, 15%, the third day, maybe 98% the next day, maybe 100% one of those days or multiple days in a row. But consistency doesn't look like showing up 100% every single time. There are going to be bad days. There are going to be days that you are off. Everybody understands that, and you have to be able to understand that as well. But understanding that consistency is about showing up, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your friends, whether it's, whatever you say you're going to do, but also it's about keeping what you want to achieve in the front of your mind, because I feel like we can't be consistent in what we say we know we want to do if we don't even remember the things that we want to do. So I had to sit down with myself and reevaluate. What did Sierra say that she wanted to do? And that is why I say it is very important that you get a journal of some sort and write this stuff down. So I have a journal and a planner. And my planner is me writing out the weekly things I want to do, weekly things I want to, achieve to help me get to the goal that I said I wanted to get to, and things like that. And then just me checking myself after every day. Did I do the things that I said I wanted to do? Yes. Okay, great. Check it off. No. Okay, maybe move it to the next day or figure out, is this something that you truly need in your routine to be able to accomplish whatever you say you wanted to accomplish? So yeah, I needed to reevaluate, sit down with myself, realign because I just felt like a lot of hormones. I've been feeling like irritable, easily agitated, and all of the things like that. And then, maybe more sensitive, a lot more sensitive to certain things that are said and how things are said, the voice, the tone, the attitude, all of the things like that. But honestly, I was like, I don't even know what I'm working towards. Like, I feel like I'm just on repeat every single day, and I don't know what I actually want to work towards. Yes, I have to give myself some grace because I know I'm pregnant. I know I'm about to give birth anytime now. And I know my body is, more tired some days than not. So, that's another reason why I haven't been recording because I do have to come upstairs and the day some weekends I'm just like either dead tired all day, sleep all day, in the bed all day, don't want to move, or if I do have a burst of energy, like I'm cleaning or reassorting things, and then right after I'm like, oh, I'm tired. So yeah, but I've done a few things today. I feel like I still have some energy, so I was like, let me go ahead and record now. But yeah, reevaluating. So this for me is just resetting, restarting, regaining confidence in myself. So you guys and yourself by reevaluating my life and where I am. I understand where I am right now. Okay, great. Maybe, some things have been off. Have I really been evaluating how I feel emotionally? Have I been evaluating how I feel physically? This is that time for me to set some time aside to be like, what is Sierra feeling and why does she feel that way? Is there something within her control that she can change that can make her feel better? All of the things like that. So I've just been feeling kind of stuck. Like I'm not doing enough despite, growing a little human child in my belly. Especially with getting closer to my due date. And then, there's a lot of things that go on with our bodies. We never know 100% how we're going to feel, especially when we plan stuff out in advance. But it's very important to take notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. And if you're drained in any of those categories, taking a step back. Like I said, you don't have to show up 100% of the time. Sometimes, you say you need to do something or you say you'll do something this day. And maybe, it doesn't have to be done that day. It's okay if it doesn't get done that day. Just push it to another day. But for me specifically, when I realized I needed to reevaluate and figure out what I'm working towards because I have not been writing in my planner. Like there's a whole week in my planner, and this is the first time this happened, that my whole entire week was blank. I didn't plan out my week. I didn't say I was going to do, anything. And I've just been kind of just coasting, and I didn't even realize a week had went by. So that's when I knew. I said, ooh, you have not been planning, out your life. Not everything can be planned, according as, but the things that you said you wanted to do, you're not doing it. And it's perfectly fine, but we need to get back on track because if we don't do it now and we lose track of what we said we wanted to do, we're going to be looking back in Q2, like, how the heck did I get so far away from these goals? I didn't accomplish anything. And now my Q2 goals become my Q3, when we could be, completing something else in Q3. So, like I said, writing stuff down, I had my goals that we talked about at the beginning of March and April. So I just look back at my Q2 goals. I look back at my weekly non-negotiables that I said I wanted to, make sure I implemented and get implemented in my routine. And I came up with the rest of the week that I was in, came up with the rest of the plan, like the rest of the week for my plan. I didn't say, oh my goodness, okay, now I'm going to record 7 episodes, edit this, edit that. I didn't jump in heavy. I kind of just coasted my way back. Like I'm coasting my way back into, my hardcore, like this is what I'm doing this day, then this day, then this day. Now, some of the things, like, I'll just give you guys an example. Like, I had this revelation at the beginning of the week. So, literally, like, this page and like 2 other pages before it, which was the week before, is completely blank. So, Thursday, I literally put reevaluate and stretch because obviously I still need to stretch my pelvic floor for birth. And then, edit the rest of my podcast episodes, get them scheduled for audio, get them scheduled for visual. I did not have anything planned for, my business and everything. So I was like, I know I said I wanted to get my certification in Q2, but I still don't even have my vision statement, mission statement, haven't thought about stuff like that. And then, recording episodes, like, what are you doing? So like I said, I'm easing my way back into it. But putting on my planner to reevaluate, give myself time to think about my life and where I am physically, emotionally, and mentally definitely helped, because now I have a clear mind, I have a clear brain. I know exactly what I need to do and where I need to go. So I've already come up with my mission statement and vision statement for my business. I already came up with the name. I told you guys that in another episode. This is one out of maybe 2, 3, or 4 episodes that I'll record today. And then I will be sending out visitation rules for after I get home after birth. So that'll be fun. I did stretch, I did end up walking, and I did end up, editing and scheduling all of my episodes that I pre-recorded. So I am good for the next 7 weeks. And this is just one more episode that I can record to, get that out of the way. Get it, scheduled and edited and all of the things in advance to help me out further. So when you are able to pick up on your well-being and where you are, or maybe that you just feel stuck, if you're able to notice that, I feel like it helps you become a better person for yourself, because you're not waiting on somebody else to tell you, oh my goodness, what have you been doing, or oh, I feel like you haven't been as adamant about this as you were before. You're not waiting for somebody else to tell you what they notice is off about you. You're able to take note and take accountability and see that in yourself. And then you're able to, like I said, whatever's within your control, fix it or change it or just reevaluate. And that was the biggest thing for me, is just reevaluation, figuring out where I am, where I want to go. And during that reevaluation, I will say, I now know that I want to change my content, not my not my podcast content or anything like that, but my content creation stuff. So I do have a TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube just for, my makeup and stuff like that. But I don't think I'll be doing that much longer. Like, yes, I want to get, yes, I still love makeup. Yes, I still like doing it, but I'm just not too far in depth in makeup where it's like, this is my bread, butter, and soul. Like, it's just not me. And I feel like with the transition that I'm about to go through, I feel like my content is about to kind of change. And I want to talk a little bit more about the stuff that I actually care about, because I don't really talk in my makeup videos. I don't talk whatsoever unless I'm doing a voiceover. But if I can talk to what I talk about on the platform, just on short form content platforms, I would just love that, because it gives me endless amount of things to talk about. I feel like it'll gradually, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like it'll gain me more genuine and more active followers. And when I say that, I say this because on my content creation page, especially on TikTok, I have like over 1,700 followers, but my likes and comments and everything don't reflect that. I doubt most of my followers even engage with my content. And that's not what I want. If I'm going to have a community, I want the people in my community to really rally behind me and be in tune with what I'm talking about and what I'm posting out there. So I feel like I'm just posting the same thing and not really changing anything and not really bringing a new perspective into the game. And so I just feel like it's kind of pointless for me. So I haven't been posting anything whatsoever. I think this is the second week I've gone without posting anything on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube for my content creation stuff. So I'm just trying to reevaluate that as well. What am I going to change? What am I going to now incorporate? Am I going to create a new page and start from zero? Am I going to keep this page? And just leave it up? Like, what am I going to do? I'm still thinking about all of the things like that, because I feel like I don't want to make, a quick rush decision, especially before I give birth, because I know I'm going to go ghost after I give birth. Like, there's not going to be a lot of short form content after I give birth, because I'll be giving birth and I'll be trying to get to know me, the new me, and my baby girl. But yeah, you guys, that's all I wanted to touch base on. And I just wanted to let you guys know that even those people that look like they have it all figured out, most of the time, they're still trying to figure it out themselves. So don't worry about other people in their journey, especially don't worry about me and my journey. I just like to cascade it out to others so that it could be, hopefully a motivational factor for other people. And so that way I can show you guys what consistency may look like, especially since it's going to be different for everybody, right? So it may look like this for me. It may be different for you, especially you when you're scheduling what you have going on and what you want to accomplish. But essentially, we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to stay motivated. We're all trying to stay disciplined. We're all trying to be confident in who we are and what we're putting out into the world for other people to consume. And we're all trying to stay consistent. So although our journeys may be different, they may or may not look the same. And even though I'm going through a period where I felt stuck and I'm like now reevaluating myself and I wasn't doing everything that I said I wanted to do, there are going to come times like that for other people, maybe in different ways. But if you are able to acknowledge that I need to reevaluate myself, I need to reevaluate my situation and what I need to do next, that is going to be the biggest game changer for anybody. So I just wanted to put this out there because I was literally thinking. I was like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Like, I feel like if I'm not doing anything, I feel down. I feel like there's a lot of hormones going on, especially in this last trimester. I'm feeling down. But one thing that I love to do that always picks me up is plan and figure out the next steps for me, myself, and my life. Because y'all know what I say. My OGs and my returning listeners know that you can be in a whole full-fledged marriage like me. But if you are making that marriage your identity and your end all be all, there is no individuality in that. And so I feel like a lot of people get complacent and lose who they are and lose themselves in their marriage, in their, life, in their motherhood, because they're so consumed by something else and making that their identity that they're not putting forth the time and effort for themselves. Like, I just went and got a wax today. Maybe TMI, maybe not TMI, but I just went and got a wax today at 38 weeks pregnant in 5 days. Most women aren't doing that. Most women are not doing that. But that is time away that I can, take care of myself, put some more self-care into me as a person, fill my cup back up, get some girl talk in. Like, I love my wax lady. Get some girl talk in, all of the things like that. I do plan on, if I make it to next weekend, okay, without having to be in the hospital and giving birth. If I make it to next weekend, I plan on going to get my nails done. Shoot, who says I won't go get my nails done tomorrow? But I feel like when you focus on who you are as a person, what makes you happy, what brings you out of, the mud in the ground, and what uplifts your spirit, when you know what that is, when you figure out what that it is going to be a little bit easier for you to get back to who you are in your core. Instead of always having to constantly pour out for other people and show up for other people, you need to show up for yourself as well. So this week, reevaluating was that for me. Showing up for myself looked like reevaluation, sitting down with myself, pen and paper, what's going on, what did I say I wanted to accomplish, and what's going to be my plans for the next couple days out of this week to get back on that road to making sure Sierra is taken care of. So I hope I'm a great mom. I'm going to give it my all, but she will not be the only thing that I pour into. I'm going to pour into my marriage. I'm going to pour into my partner. I'm going to pour into myself. Okay. So let that be, a little message for those that forget about themselves and put everybody above themselves constantly. But at the end of the day, you are a human being. And if nobody is pouring into you and you're not pouring into you, you're getting nothing at the end of the day. And so, yes, that is why you feel drained. Yes, that is why you're tired. Yes, that is why you're grumpy. Yes, that is why you snap quick at people. You are left empty. So reevaluate, reset, restart, and replenish. All right. So I love you guys. I will see you in next week's episode. And I hope you all have a beautiful and wonderful week. All right. Love y'all. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.